And live at the Rebar, it's the one and only Rebar Show with your man, JP motherfucking Fingers.
Yo, Adrian! Adrian, where's my cigar and my beer? Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? We are sitting down today for episode, I don't even know, we're past 10, so
We're way past it.
it's all good.
Over the hill.
Yep. Boom. We're done. We're good. We have our Texas brother, co-host, J-Dub. J-Dub, where is that beautiful face of yours?
I don't know, man. You tell me.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, coming out of the darkness.
All right. And
That's right.
do you want to introduce the special guest that we have today?
Definitely. Live from Pennsylvania or somewhere in the East Coast, somewhere. I don't know. I guess we'll talk about it. Mississippi, Kansas. I don't know. I'm bad with directions. Emoji Stogies, everyone. So he's goes by Mike, I guess. So we want to learn more about him and see what's going on, what makes him tick, and hopefully learn some cool stuff about him.
Hi.
Well, how you doing, Mike?
What's up, guys? Emoji Stogies from Philly. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I always wanted to say that. I never dialed in before. I always wanted to do that. What's up, guys?
Don't fangirl us.
Damn.
Oh,
Damn. I'm taking that as a compliment.
I'm feeling like Stern.
Yeah. What's up? J-Dub, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. So been following each other for a bit, but as it happens with many other accounts, I know nothing about you. So hopefully that will change up today.
Yeah, we need to know. Smiley face, winky face. Who is Emoji Stogies and what does he do?
Emoji Stogies, international man of mystery.
Yeah.
All right.
Real.
Hey, before we get into the meat of this, let's set up the stage for those listening to the podcast. This is the one and only Rebars. We know, what are you guys smoking and drinking, if anything, and then what are you pairing it with, and then we'll go from there.
That's why you're here, because you're like,
keep it on track.
You're
man.
the agenda. You're the agenda, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm the one that says, "Hey guys, you're too drunk. You gotta just cut it off."
Yeah, well, where were you last weekend?
Yeah,
not drunk.
Yeah,
he was on a plane somewhere.
I heard a lot of feedback from people that I was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Where were you when they were waterboarding with the Miller High Life?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Crazy bastard.
That was amazing, by the way. But let me show the peeps of the YouTubes, interwebs. I'm smoking a Bolivar Exclusivo Original Deluxe, and I'm pairing it with some Macallan 18.
Oh.
So hopefully that'll go well. I hear Macallan 18 is okay.
It's not bad.
You may have heard of it.
So what about you guys? What are you guys smoking, drinking?
I got that Eagle Rare with the TAA 15.
I got Tat Miami, Belancourt, and I got some 40 Creek and ginger. Mike?
And I'm rolling with that Tat Fausto, and I got some Michler small batch.
Ooh,
there we go.
Ooh, not the 20, the small batch. Nice.
There we go. So J-Dub, dive into it. Let's hear it. The agenda man.
Yeah. What do we got? What do we got on the table? What do we got?
So yeah, Mike, tell us about yourself. Tell us, where you're from. I want to know a little bit of background of Emojis. How long have you had the account, and just how did it get started, and how it's turned out to be this influencer account that you have nowadays.
Yes, I was born in 1981 as Emoji Stogies. And my parents, as soon as they seen my yellow smile, they knew what to call me. But no, you know what? I'm from Philadelphia, as you said, and I started this account probably, I think, in 2014, and it started basically as, you know, as everybody goes through their period of discovery. Me and my boys were smoking cigars, and, like, you know, maybe 7-8 years ago, and we would have a group message going, and people would be posting what they're smoking, and between breaking balls and arguing about who's the best quarterback. You know what we all talk about. You put a cigar up, and you realize a lot is said from giving a thumbs up or a shit emoji. You know, you get a lot accomplished with that. So I kind of took that and ran with it with the account. I figured Instagram in general, it's pretty, you know, fast food. You take a quick look and you keep scrolling. So I figured a lot more could be said with an emoji than with, you know, 10 paragraphs, especially on a social media platform like Instagram, you know. So it started with that. I just kind of ran.
So it basically started from you guys texting each other, basically the emojis, whether it was good or bad, and rating it yourselves with emojis. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just, you know, not like it was like a structured form for that, but, you know, we're talking just a group message, and everybody's smoking, and somebody would be like, "Yo, I'm smoking this." You would say, "How is it?" He would just put the thumbs up emoji, and you'd figure that's all you need. That's all you need. You figure it all out just from an emoji. You take a quick glance and you keep.
Exactly. It is all you need. I mean, we say this a million different times, and we said it. We're gonna keep saying it. What does it matter? All cigars have leather taste. Okay, pepper, great, and oak, maybe all of them, right? So, do we really want to go? I want this cigar because it has more leather than this other cigar, or this other cigar has white pepper versus, you know, black pepper. You know, nobody gives a shit about that, right? So that's all that matters. Just the one thumbs up, thumbs down, shit emoji, right?
Yeah, it started with that. Now, if you take a look at my account, I don't necessarily even review them. I just kind of put what they cost, the strengths, a little bit of a description, and you kind of like look at it, you glance, you see a pepper, you know it's a kind of peppery strong. You know, you see a coffee cup, you know it's in that realm. It's not necessarily like I'm strongly defining what these cigars taste like. Like you said, they're all kind of in the same realm, but it kind of gives you a quick glance, and you kind of can maybe store that in your head, maybe not, and just move on, you know?
And I mean, one of the big things with how unique that is, in my opinion, is when you look at how much of a joke Cigar Aficionado is, and you could read 3 pages on one fucking cigar, and you sum it up with 4 little emojis, and it's just like, wow, I know now.
Yeah, not necessarily just to shit on CA, but just every cigar reviewing podcast,
yeah, like,
YouTube channel. It is drivel for an hour about the same shit. And you really only need a couple things: thumbs up, thumbs down, or shit in your case, you know, the poo emoji, and maybe some other.
But I do like that whole strong versus not strong, because, you know, there are some cigars that are very strong, very dark Maduro, or there's some that are very smooth, very light, very, you know, morning type of coffee with, you know, pairing type of thing. So I do like that comparison that he uses, and I've seen definitely your ratings and your emojis that you say. But it's simple to read. I don't have to read a, you know, 3-sentence paragraph on how it's strong. Well, I know what strong means. I look at the emoji that says the little muscle emoji, and that's okay. It's a strong cigar. Yeah. There's a lot of tobacco nicotine content, and you can tell, right?
Yeah, it's almost like emojis are like an language. It's just you kind of know what a muscle is, and 4 of them together means it's strong. You know, one of them means, hey, I can smoke that in the morning. You know, it's not
bringing the millennials into the smoking world, right?
Yeah, yeah. But with anything, everybody goes into. We're all, if you're subscribed to me, you, or just searching a cigar type Instagram account, you're into cigars, you know, and everybody goes, whether it's bourbon or scotch or you're a foodie, people approach it differently. Some people totally geek out and love to read every little detail, all about how you know, the inside baseball. Some people just like price tag stuff. Some people love the subculture, love the boutique brands, and some people like their Gurkhas. And so take out of it what you want. My account was basically, it's a quick hit. Instagram's so quick. It's just a thumb scroll. You're just moving, you know? you move through, you go past that person that you're following that you don't even want to follow. You go right past them. It's just it's constantly moving. Everything is so instantly digestible that I figured Emoji Stogies, plus that it rhymed, so that made it better. But it just was something that I started. I figured it would be cool, and started it, and it is what it is. And it's funny because when you get into any sort of niche or any sort of like little culture, you don't know how deep you can get into it, but you also find that you get to know people. There's a lot of good people that I've met and I've spoke with in person. So there's something about that was also pretty cool about just doing this in general.
That's cool.
Man,
when you first reached out to me, I looked at you guys. You guys are if when I was describing to my friends and my wife, whoever is, a couple people that I mentioned that actually know I do this, because not too many people do know I do this in my personal life. They asked me what it was, and I was like, these guys are basically if like the Joe Rogan and the Jackass guys kind of combined to want to talk about the
Hey, that's
might not
the
necessarily
highest form of compliment.
Yeah,
we bring
so I
the
might not
people
necessarily be like,
to
they were like, these guys. My wife was listening to me listen to you. I had it on speaker, and she was like, "Oh, these guys are pretty wild." She was like, "You sure they're not going to roast you?" I said, "You know what's funny?" I said, "I was thinking when they first reached out to me, because I really didn't know any of you guys, and I've been ever since you had Shoe Game on. That's when I caught wind of it. And I've been watching because in my eyes, Shoe Game is like the Don of the Instagram, world. I think that guy just,
he's
he's such a boss, and yeah." That guy's he's the Don right there. That's my guy. I literally my second post I posted. He DM'd me and said, "Dude, I love this." And then like a couple weeks later, he actually put me on his account. And like I just like woke up one day to like hundreds of followers. I was like, Jesus, what the hell happened? So, but nonetheless, but my wife was saying these guys are pretty wild. Are you sure they're not going to roast you? Because I'm basically like the Big Bang Theory of cigar reviews. You guys are like the underground kind, and I'm like a smiley emoji face that reviews with emoji. So you never know what you're getting into.
But
I said I don't know if they were going to pull the Shooter McGavin when they invite Happy Gilmore to the ninth hole, and I show them my laser, and the sprinklers are going, and they're just roasting me about my emojis. But after you get to talk to everybody, we're all in this for the cigars. We're all the same people when it comes down to it in general.
No, we
all like this.
We wouldn't have somebody on the show, just like we wouldn't smoke cigars if we didn't support them.
Yeah, or we didn't like it.
Yeah.
And
thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
It's one of those things where it's just like, we've thought about having, like, we've smoked 2 cigars just to revisit them because they were our favorites back in the day. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't say a lot of negative things about them. Well, we might have, but at the end of the day,
don't
we were
remember.
like, the end of the day, it was like, you know what? It's not what it was. I wouldn't buy it again.
You grow. Yeah. It's a journey.
And
you think you know it all at every stage of your life. You think you know it all, whether it's literally like going through life as a teenager and an adult. And even with like, as you get into anything, you think you know it all, and you revisit stuff. And it's always good to just revisit and take a look at it at a different stage of your life and see what's going on then,
Yeah. I want to touch base on what really started it, I think, with me and J-Dub, was you did a post with a handful of lighters.
Yeah.
So, that's funny because he was talking about the Instagram as the quick hit, quick scroll through. So that's basically how we started with you. So, let's talk about that real quick, if you don't mind. So go ahead and set up the question. If you don't, go ahead and set up the question that you asked on Instagram, and because you probably remember a heck of a lot better than I did, and then I kind of just.
You know what? I asked a either or question that wasn't necessarily an either or question, so I put a handful of
yes or no.
bunch of random cheapies that I the way I like my cigars, and asked the question: are you a one nice cigar type of guy, or are you a bunch of random type of guy? A bunch of random lighters type of guys. And comments were coming in on that one, actually. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. We got up to like over 100 different comments, right?
Yeah. But most of them are me responding. I try to respond to as many as possible. So I always take that as, and half of them are me going, hitting them with an emoji or trying to add into the conversation, depending on how deep their comment was. But you said no, and I actually could remember where I was, but it was the end of the work day, and I was kind of getting home from work, and by the time I got home from work, I seen somebody popped in and just said no ? And you were like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not either. I'm a multiple knife cigar type of guy. I'm sorry, multiple knife lighter type of guy. And you and the guy kind of went back and forth a little bit about him saying you might have came off like a prick or something like that. And
let's be honest, he thought I was mad, and he thought I was being an asshole, right? Let's be honest. Which
I kind of said that, and I popped in and said, "Yo, no offense taken on my end." I said, "I don't." First and foremost, I mean, who's getting mad about anything on this thing? But
yeah, no, I'm not about that.
I thought you answered by that point. You said I'm a multiple, and I said I thought either that or matches. And
that just got me going. By the way, and you saw that.
You went off, J-Dub. You speak about paragraphs. You dropped a big ass paragraph.
That set me off. It's because I have people that like I said it before. I have people that smoke one cigar a year. They're like, "Oh, you use a torch. You don't use a match. You should be watching matches." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything." Number one. Number two, we recently saw this post of this one cigar reviewer. He was like, "Oh, I don't want any butane impurities in my cigar, so I'm gonna light it with a match." And as soon as he lit it, he stuck that cigar up the foot of the fucking cigar. I'm like, okay, how does that phosphorus taste, bro? Really?
Oh man, this cigar is a sulfur bomb.
It's the sulfur bomb, and just to make sure. And again, we're talking about just practice, man. We're talking about the light up. Just the simple light up. We're not talking about, the whole cigar experience. Most people won't be able to tell the difference, right, of whether it's lit from a match, unless you stick it up there, like I said, up the foot of the cigar. But it shows how pretentious people can be, and how it just set me off, right? It's just like, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's like, if you're gonna start saying matches are better, no, number one, you're lighting it wrong. I can tell you 90% of the time. Number two, go with cedar. That's, if you want no impurities, fine, go with cedar. Number three, it's just a fucking light up. It's not going to matter after a few puffs, right?
No, it's not that serious. Pretentiousness, just leave it, keep it to yourself. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it.
But then nobody's going to know you're pretentious if you keep it to yourself.
Hey, man, pretentiousness runs deep in the online world. Everyone's an expert.
Yeah, it's a problem anymore. But and social media gives people the platform to with their thumbs type their comment and move on or wait to see what you're going to say. I don't know what they're accomplishing by dropping their wisdom on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Please. It's gotten so bad that anytime I bite my cigars, because sometimes I do that. I don't carry a cutter all the time, and I'll fingernail it or whatever, and I have to state that this is a fingernail cup. That's why it looks like shit. So that way, because people have gone on, there's like, hey, that's a shitty ass cut. Okay, who are you? Number one. Number two, what do you care?
It's my fucking cigar.
It's my cigar. It's just the same whether it was cut perfectly with a razor blade.
I smoke a lot of cigars with my father. I'm lucky to have, my sisters are married to great guys. They both smoke cigars. My father has been smoking cigars since I've been in grade school. And
that's pretty cool.
My old man bites cigars. He bites them off. He chews them. He smokes one cigar. He doesn't inhale it. He just like works it down. And he's been doing this for years. And that's what he does, And that's just to each his own. Who cares what your preference is? Keep it to yourself. Smoke your cigar. Enjoy it. If you're in this community, have fun with it. Enjoy it. Be positive. Be negative with it. But just, don't be a prick about it.
Unless you're us, with the rebar, then we're gonna call you on it for being a prick, right?
Yeah, and I mean we know everything,
guys like
right?
you to police everybody. You guys like you to police everybody, to call everybody out on their bullshit.
Hey, if you want to be a prick, you got to get a podcast.
Yeah,
we come up with a.
I just see what you guys did to get this podcast up and going, man. A lot going on.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more than it should be.
It's mostly just a mental battle. That's all it really is.
Man, sometimes I'm like, man, did we bite off more than we can chew sometimes with all this technology and all this setup and everything?
I heard you guys tasing a microphone, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there has been a taser that came out. It's not charged up, though. It's been dead for a couple days.
That's where the jackass part of the, you know,
of course.
Comes out.
Hey, anything for a little bit of promo.
I love it, dude. I love it. I honestly do. You guys are what we need, because it's levity. It's a little bit of levity. It ain't serious, but you also call people out if they're being pretentious, and that's what you can't tolerate, is the pretentiousness. You know,
it's why is this guy think he's better than this guy? Why is this?
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes we might say things which make us seem that way, but it's just like, no, we're just calling shit how we see it, and we'll say it.
You don't come off as pretentious. I'll tell you that. You come off as just real, and that's what every niche needs that realness. You know.
Yeah, and we'll say something that people want to say but won't say. It's like, I don't care. I'll fucking say it. Like,
we got no skin in the game.
And yeah, I mean, I'll say shit right now, and this is the most soberest I've been for any episodes we've done.
Damn! Oh, time out. Everybody drink. Yo, everybody drink.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers, everybody.
Take a swig.
All right, cheers.
Everybody take a swig. All right. Let's get a little more drunk.
Yeah, no, I was behaving during the day. I caught a lot of flack from a few people over last week's episode. You're pretty drunk, eh? Yeah, thanks. I was there.
Are you sure you remember? Because I know you were there, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I would remember if I was that drunk.
I was sober enough to keep it a lot shorter than the first time.
Yeah.
It must be weird to have video footage of your fucking blackout drunkenness.
The escapades.
Imagine having this in college. When you come home and you can pull it up on YouTube.
Hey, Mike, this is how the Girls Gone Wild feel, man.
The Rebar Gone Wild.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every Saturday.
You bring up a great point, man. It's not the same watching yourself. It's like, I don't know, like everybody does it when you're drunk and you're somewhat conscious and you go to the mirror and you're like, that's how I look drunk, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
When you're drunk as shit and you go in the bathroom, you take a piss and you're by yourself. You just look in the mirror and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm drunk.
That's exactly. It's like, that's me drunk. We don't have to do that. We can just replay the video. Well, not me. Mr. JP Fingers over here.
Me. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Just you.
All right. So a question I normally ask everybody that comes on: how do you cut your cigar? You a knife, cutter,
just
fighter,
say no.
thumbnail?
Just say no.
Like my father, I bite it.
Okay.
I have all different type. I have all different type of cutters. I have a punch that I use. I have a lighter that has a punch on it. I have a Zycar. I can't pronounce anything, by the way, but I have a Zycar.
Zycar.
Butterfly piece. I bring that around a lot. I had this one. My wife bought me a humidor when I first started getting into cigars a while ago, and it came with this cutter. It was from Cuban Craft, and this thing came with a card that said it's guaranteed for life. And I used this cutter forever, and it was like real solid metal, and it actually broke recently. And I came across there was a little business card that said guaranteed for life. I was thinking about sending it back and seeing what they do.
Dude, do it up, man.
Is that the one, Mike? Is that the one that looks like scissors?
No, this thing was like, it looked like a regular, thumb and forefinger cutter, and it had like a backer to it that you couldn't put the cigar.
It's almost like a business card size.
Okay, because I have a Cuban and it works like shit. So I'm
never going to mail it back. I'm the worst at that stuff. So
just move on and get to the next cutter.
Move on to the next thing. Like my approach on everything's disposable. Just keep moving on. Nah, I'm only joking.
Before you cut your cigar, do you put it in your mouth?
No, I.
I like how
he's got to put it in his mouth if he's biting the cap off.
I know this is a thing amongst you guys. I don't think I don't. But I wouldn't mind. Guess what? I wouldn't mind if you did. I'd cut. I don't care. I'll pick a hot dog off the floor and eat it. I don't really care.
Yes.
That's a Philly boy right there.
Yeah. J-Dub, I'm chalking this one
I'll
up.
pick a cheesesteak off the floor.
I'm chalking this one up is on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you got what? 2 people on your side, and I got like 50.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the count?
I'm doing that.
Hey, JP's just got all the degenerates, and J got all the fucking cigar guys, all the brand makers, all the important folks.
All the pretentious people. Right?
Oh shit!
That's why you want me on this show, to appeal to that crowd,
I got
huh?
an important question. Before I make my official decision, JP, do you use like beard oil and shit like that with that massive beard you got?
Yeah, beard oil, beard balm, and
am I
Liga
going to be tasting
Privadas.
like Moroccan? Am I going to be tasting like Moroccan like tree oil or something like that?
It's I have cinnamon scent and lumberjack scent.
Cool.
Whatever a lumberjack scent is, I don't know.
I can't do that because it doesn't have there's no cinnamon emoji, so I can't do that.
We're gonna have to create one. We need a cinnamon stick.
Lumberjack tastes like sweat and
Can you believe I'm a grown man that gets excited when Apple releases new emojis? I go through them.
It's like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
Finally got
So
something.
if anybody has any emoji questions, they can just go to you.
Yeah. Like, what really does this one mean?
Dude, I can thumb through the emoji so quickly. I know where everything's at.
So,
like a ninja.
What does the eggplant emoji mean to you, and have you used it as a cigar rating?
What kind of question is that?
Well,
it means the same thing to everyone, right?
Eggplant.
Come on, Mike. No, you're the expert. You're the emoji expert.
I prefer the peach emoji.
Oh.
See? So what else would the eggplant mean? It means what it means, man.
Earthy tasting?
No. So, are you, Mike? Are you a gun guy? Do you shoot guns? Do you have guns? Do you want to disclose any of that? Or?
No, I'm not. I'm not a gun guy. I am not. Not a gun guy.
So you weren't really mad when
I'm not against guns. I just I don't know. I'm just not a gun guy.
That's cool.
I know you are.
Yeah, kind of.
Look at J-Dub's hat.
Yeah. I believe he actually took a personal day at work on Friday to go fire guns.
I did.
I seen some heavy artillery on the table on your story the other day. That was some firepower, buddy.
The coolest thing about that day on Friday is that I got to pick up a service gun from a local police officer, and I got to shoot it. So it was really it meant a lot, because I support the which a lot of us do. We support the thin blue line, as they say. So the people that make the sacrifice, and so it was cool, just saying, this gun is used for that. So I appreciated that, and that was pretty cool.
How did it shoot, J-Dub?
Oh, it like a dream, man. It's I shot like shit, but the gun just was perfect, man. I loved it, and very comfortable to shoot, very light. Just I tried filming while shooting. That didn't go so well because that was my first time trying it, but no, when you were shooting while you were filming, there was a noise hitting. So what was hitting? So did you hear that noise? I think it was some metal clanging. Did you hear that? Every time you popped, I heard I was hearing this something hitting something. I thought it was maybe the camera. I was like, is he hitting his camera with a shell? No, I had my buddy from behind me with a gong and just ding it every time I shot. So it would sound like I would hit every time the target. That's
so you're not good at filming while you shoot. You're never.
Yeah, he was making the ping noise every time I was shooting.
That ping. Yeah, I'm not a gun guy, but I've gone up to my uncle hunts, and a lot of people in my family hunt, and I've gone up there with them, and put the cell phone in a drawer for a weekend and just kind of hung out. So I enjoy that aspect of that.
Hunting. Yeah, and the reason I was asking related to this is because when Apple came out and they replaced the actual gun with a water gun, right? So they're trying to be more PC. So that was a big thing for gun guys like ourselves.
I was thinking the exact same thing when he said Apple comes out with new emojis. You must have been upset when they took the gun emoji off.
Yeah. So whatever I was, stupid as I was, I didn't do the update that that actually replaced the gun emoji. So in my side, it looked like a gun, but, which is great. But when I sent it out and I was like, hey, what does it look like? And I thought it still looked like a gun on your side, but no, on your side, it looked like a fucking water gun. So
water pistol.
Oh,
yeah.
J-Dub wants to get me all wet.
Doesn't take much, man. Doesn't take much. Let's just
No. Hey, show him that bottle of Macallan again. It'll get him wet. Oh, no. I didn't mean that. I take it back.
Oh, I'm getting a riser in the front.
look at that. Macallan and beard.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right there.
Damn. Oh, your beard's just growing now. I could see it grow faster.
Well, I figured if I'm gonna be on video, I'm gonna hide as much as my face as I can.
All right, so let's get back to the Fausto you're smoking. What do you got on the strength? How many muscle men?
This is like a 4 muscle pack right here.
Oh,
yeah, really?
It's a Fausto.
Yeah,
all day long. That's 4.
Yeah, this is 3, 4. It's 4 probably.
That's if you don't mind us doing this, at the end of the show, I want to post my emoji review on it. Can I? Is this cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just as to promote this, it's like I got to promote the show we're doing. So it's like, you know what? I got to do an emoji review.
Your priority rights to emoji reviewing.
J-Pal, if you do that, expect to hear from my lawyers. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, and his lawyer's got a tire.
And the cis.
Please do it, but you'll hear from my lawyers.
Yeah. Dare you.
Like, so that brings up a good point, right, guys?
I've been waiting to see
Mike?
you. This is the whole thing. I don't care, man.
No. But it brings up a good point, Mike. Where do you want to take this? What do you want to do with this account? You know, do you want to keep it as fun entertainment, or do you want to take it further, or what's your plans or thoughts?
You know what I've been realizing I've been doing a lot more recently, which was one of my main principles, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I used to always be one cigar in the hand, on the table, whatever it was, but it would be the cigar review of one cigar, and that was like my first X amount of posts for all that. And then recently I've been doing more like cigars, multiple cigars, or a question like the lighter post or something, or I put my buddy up. Did you see my buddy rip the ash off and then light it back on the other day?
That was pretty sick.
That's fucking man.
Yes, I've been doing. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yo, that was the Did you ever smoke the Fuente Shark, the Añejo?
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite cigar, by the way. That's my number 1 cigar. It's my favorite.
It's
cigar.
a lot of muscle men on that one.
But just stuff like that, like different stuff, and I've been noticing, and it kind of takes away from the original plan of it. But I've been noticing when I do stuff like that, it sparks more of a conversation in the comments, kind of, you know. Then when I go back to posting a single cigar, it's kind of like a little stale. I don't want to say stale, but it's like kind of what I've always done, and it gets like, okay, here's Emoji Smoke.
So
Emoji Stogies posting a cigar.
I think that what J-Dub was trying to get at was, when do you start making T-shirts?
No T-shirts. Nobody wants to wear an Emoji Stogie T-shirt.
Yeah,
you guys want one?
Do companies try to butter you up, and like you have what, 13,000 followers?
14.
Yeah,
14. Sorry.
I have a lot of like approaches, and with anything I talk with people for a little while. There's a little bit of a DM going on with some people, and then after a while, I've opened up to that, posting like a cigar, like a newer brand cigar, and it was something that I thought about actually pretty heavily, and I won't do anybody, but I'll take a cigar and I'll review it, or I'll put it up, and it was something that I actually struggled with a little bit, truthfully, and I would, and I do.
It's one of those things, because really you don't want to smoke it if you don't believe in it, really, right?
There's that. Yeah, there's that aspect that exists. So, but this rolls back to me eating the hot dog off the ground and not being pretend. But like, I feel like most of these cigars are pretty good. They're all pretty good. They're not like I'm kind of the type of person that I have never really lit up a cigar, and I have, but I rarely come across where I throw it to the ground and be like, this is absolutely horrible. Do you guys find yourself doing that a lot?
I wouldn't say I'm very selective. I only really have like maybe 8 go-to brands where it's like,
okay,
I keep my circle small, and I generally love everything that the companies put out of the brands I love.
Of the brands you love. And I ask myself this a lot, like, what would my smoking habits be if I didn't have this account? Because with this account, naturally, I'm always trying to smoke cigars. I have that, you know, that core group that I love to smoke. That, like, I don't post a lot. I post once a week, and sometimes I'll miss a week. You know, so I'm pretty like few and far in between with my posts. So you're seeing 1 out of every 4 or 5 cigars that I smoke when I'm in the you know, you smoke at night, sitting on your porch. No one wants to see in the way I've established my account, in my eyes, a picture of my cigar with my feet and, like, you know, my table, like my newspaper or whatever. So I try to be a little selective with my cigars, with the pictures, I should say. So you only see the ones that I feel like I put myself in a position to take a fairly nice picture with. And also, what's that? You
got a lot of daylight shots.
Yeah, I smoke. Yeah, and I find myself smoking at night more than in daytime. Daytime is kind of, you got the weekends, you got this, you know, in the summertime you have, you know, daytime, you can walk around, and I'll take, you know, I work in the center city area of Philadelphia, and I'll walk around. But wait, where was I going with this? I forget where I was going with this.
J-Dub, what's your thoughts on that? Because I find we're sort of similar. You may smoke a few other different companies that I haven't smoked yet, or.
Well, it's location too, right? It's not just because Canada is a lot more restrictive on receiving shit like that. But for me, if I see them locally, or a friend sends me whatever, I'll try anything. I do. And Mike, and I'll be honest with you, there has been some cigars that are just shit, that are not ready, man. They're like that. I've been doing that experiment with that Sancho Panza that's non-Cuban, and I smoked one that's been properly aged for over 10 years, and it still tastes like shit, man. It was just horrible.
Like shit.
And I bought a different kind of the same, so I told myself I have to smoke it. So it's good to have that perspective of, you know, what you like and what you don't like. But I'm willing to try many things. But yeah, many things I've been like, you know, this is shit, I'm just gonna put it down and not smoking it, because there's, believe it or not, like JP said, there's 8 great companies, but there's 50,000 different cigar companies out there putting it out.
Yeah.
Things you've never heard of.
Yes, that's something I struggle with, and I've only recently started putting more like boutique brand cigars out that are not like more like revered amongst the community. And I try to, you know, it's everything's. I don't want to go against kind of where I started, if that makes sense. Where I'm just
you want to stay true to your roots.
Right, and anybody that I have put up, I have had like an ongoing conversation with for a while. So it's tough, you know, because I'm not a big conglomerate. I'm not. You'd be really, well, I guess from talking to me, you know now, but I'm just me. You know, I'm just a guy. I got 3 kids, a wife. So there's so many. You know, when you get offered cigars, it's enticing, and I've turned it down a lot of times, and I've taken some. So it's a struggle, I guess you could say.
That's. Oh, I mean, we've never had. It's never happened to us, but it's something that we've talked about just because of how we are, right? We don't want to necessarily shit on somebody just to shit on them.
As much as it would be good entertainment to just rip someone apart, it's not what we're about.
Yeah, I don't think we're set up to get free cigars anytime soon, because people, I'd be scared for having us review it, because again, it's only 3 of us, right? And we're gonna be honest, and if it's not set to our palate, we're gonna call it shit.
Yeah,
I don't know if people want to do that, which is I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. We're not here for that.
We do this because we want to do this, not because it's something like.
But we will give you, like I said, we're not gonna give you this. There's always politics involved, right? And whenever you have a big, huge following, and there's always a potential for politics to be involved. When when you have 50,000 followers and people are sending you cigars, well, now you might feel obligated to say something nice about them when you don't really care for it.
Bingo.
Or when you have friends, we talked about this earlier, is you don't want to be too close to the industry and to be real and to talk realness, because you may be too afraid to say, well, this is a good friend of mine, but at the same time, this cigar sucks. So it's luckily that the friends that I am, the people that I am friends with in the industry, they make good cigars. I don't have to worry about that. Hopefully they won't come up with a bad cigar, because then I'm going to tell them. I'll be telling them, dude, this cigar is just it's not ready, or it's just shit.
Right. This is the age-old question, though, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, the friendship or the good cigars?
Probably the good cigars.
If they're shit cigar makers, and I wouldn't, and I've had the opportunity to befriend some people, and I just don't pursue those friendships because I just don't. I don't see them. I don't see me promoting them, and they make one good cigar, and I'm not going to name people, but I've met makers that are pretty mainstream, and they make really only one good cigar. Other than that, I don't smoke anything from them, and I just don't pursue that friendship.
So can you not separate the difference between a friendship and their business?
Not when we're in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things that's
but
how come you never smoke my stuff?
Yeah.
You're always smoking so-and-so's stuff, but you never smoke my stuff. Here. And it's like...
That would be on them. That wouldn't be on you, though. And then that's the reason to call that friendship kind of like draw some lines.
Exactly. That's being pushy, and that's using my friendship as a marketing, right? So that alone, that's a cue for me to not even pursue that at all, and just say, you do you, I do me, you continue to do, and hope. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
Best of luck, but I'm not gonna smoke your shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just, and I mean, if they're your friends, they got to realize, you know what? Maybe that's not your palate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Today, it's like, it's just not my palate.
And I've said it before, and we've talked about this with the Cigar Point interview. I don't think Warp Cigars makes horrible cigars, but there's very, very slight, very, very noticeable difference between cigars that come from that have certain leaves versus cigars that come from a certain factory. I just don't care for them. I don't think they're bad. I just don't care for them.
Yeah, that's one company I could agree with you upon. There's Warp stuff. The stuff I like from them, I really like from them. And the other stuff, I don't give two shits about.
Agreed.
Like, I don't care.
It's not that they're bad. I'm not going to say that they're shit cigars. This is the difference between stuff you don't care about and stuff that is just shit, And when I say shit, let's just be clear for those listening. Let's just be clear. When we say shit, we mean ammonia taste. We mean bitterness. We mean...
Yeah, it's not our wheelhouse.
It's not for us. That's it.
Bitterness. That's what gets me. If I can taste a cigar and I can taste the ammonia that it's not ready, and it's just burning my tongue because just the way the taste. I know what ammonia tastes like. I've had shit cigars that are not ready to be smoked, and I've had cigars that are just not, that have unnatural flavors. Coy said this perfectly. He smoked natural cigars for such a long time that he can tell now when cigars have either a sugar tip or they have some sort of unnatural flavoring to them. So yeah, that's just the way it goes. I don't. That's what I mean by shit cigars. Is when you have off-putting flavors that are just not there, and they shouldn't be there, right? So, with that in mind, Mike, what are your? Do you have any cigars that you just don't care for at all? You just don't care to ever try them again?
One cigar I didn't like the Drew Estate, the Swamp Thing. It was like a barrel burned possibly cigar.
The KFC?
Oh, it's a fucking hot mess.
Is that what you're talking about?
It wasn't for me. That wasn't
Swamp
for me.
Rat was half Candela, half KFC, like Barber Bowl style.
I don't like Candela cigars. I think that's just not something that's hitting with me. If you go back on my account in general, I've never gave a bad review on I never gave I post the cigars I smoke.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty selective in that sense. So on my account, I've kind of fine-tuned the cigars that I like that I post. Companies that I don't, and nothing that jumps out on me, J-Dub, to tell you the truth.
That's cool. We respect that. No worries.
Are you a craft beer guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while. I was a craft beer so I kind of fell off beer a little, like keeping up with the craft beer scene in the last few years. When I was really deep into craft beer, it was more I guess Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, some those California IPAs. I was ripping through those, but then now there's these cigars. These beer companies I can't keep up with the newer beer like Tree Fingers, is that the name of it?
Oh, Treehouse.
Yeah.
Treehouse. Yeah, I know of them, but I have never explored deeply the craft beer game.
With that being said, do you think an IPA pairs well with a cigar?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I drink beer with cigar more than I drink. Yeah, I do.
But an IPA with a cigar or a stout with a cigar?
So you're going stout, more of that dark and into that coffee room. I think I drink beer with cigar probably more than I drink anything with cigar.
So do we.
Yeah, it's just one thing.
But you drink stout specifically. You try to keep it in that.
No,
category?
I bitch about it all the time, but 6 times out of 10, I grab an IPA with a cigar. I love IPAs. I love the cigar, but they just do not fucking go well together.
They clash with each other.
They're both really intense flavors. But when you're drinking beer, I know I can't speak for Justin, but
you can.
My favorite type of beer is an IPA or a double or imperial, whatever. But then I like cigars. So what am I going to do when I have spare time? I'm going to drink a fucking IPA that I like, and I'm going to smoke a cigar, even though I don't think that they go that well together.
It's really it's orange juice right after brushing your teeth instantly.
Yeah, you got that you got that.
But man, you're enjoying both of them.
I would probably say I would honestly say that my deep dive into you leaving? All right, that's it. My father's leaving. My deep dive into the IPA world kind of didn't deeply cross with my more my cigars, deep cigar smoking, and I found that in general I've been smoking more whiskey with cigars or light. I feel like I'm back onto this just general light beer kind of drinking.
Are you a High Life guy?
That's it, man.
I'm a High Life guy, absolutely. I'm a High Life guy. I'm a Rolling Rock guy.
My man.
I'm a Miller Lite guy. When I'm just drinking, I don't know. I spoke with you guys off of the podcast about my friends and I. We came across in our neighborhood. I live in Philadelphia. This old corner bar, and it used to be a bar called Blue Suede Shoes. It was a Elvis bar, and it closed down maybe 3-4 years ago. But we've rented it, and we've been in there operating it as a private club. So for the last couple of years, the majority of my smoking is either, on my porch where I'm drinking whiskey, or at this bar / private club that my friends and I have, that we have stocked with nothing but canned beer, Miller High Life, Miller Lite, Bud Light. This isn't talking about pretentious. This is not pretentious. Shots at Tullamore or Jack Daniels.
That just sounds like a good time, man.
Yeah, that's where the hold on 1 second, I just went on speaker for some. That's where the majority of my smoking has been now, and I'm drinking light beer, and I've kind of, not to say that I kind of went full circle, but I've kind of for the last 5 years been off of the craft beer game, and it's either whiskey or light beer for me.
Yeah, I find I'll go 3 weeks straight, just craft beer. And then sometimes I don't touch it for 3 weeks where it's just I'll do regular beer. I'll do regular beer and bourbon or Scotch. Craft beer it's filling. It's filling. There's no doubt about it.
I gotta be honest. Now that I really think about it, I don't think my running the cigar and my running with craft beers have really crossed over too much, because I kind of fell off craft beer a little bit. like I said, all these newer craft beers, I feel like they're like fruit bombs, right? They're like super like unfiltered. When would you say like Pliny the Elder was considered, like, is that still considered the like premier craft beer?
It's like an OG high up craft beer.
So that's where so put it this way, there's this Belgian beer bar in Philadelphia called Monk's Cafe. It's got a beer Bible like 100 pages long.
I know that place.
And there was this, when I was chasing down Pliny, Blind Pig, and you know, everything in that world, it probably was at least, it might have been like 8 to 10 years ago. And I don't think I was deep smoking at that point. Were you guys smoking about 10 years ago?
Yeah, but nothing worth mentioning, really.
You're right. So that's, I feel like my I guess as you become more of an adult, you go, and I don't know how old all you guys are, but your journey of discovery through some stuff, you kind of get into that beer thing, and then you get into the whiskey, the scotch, and then cigars kind of get thrown into the mix a little bit. You know, you kind of go through these like quote unquote finer things that you start discovering as an adult.
Yeah,
and I feel like the beer came first for me, and I was deep in it. I was like really chasing all that down. And I remember to come full circle, I went to Monk's last week, walked in, and Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, Blind, they were all on tap, like unheralded. And I remember and thinking like, damn, when I was trying to chase these down, I would never walk into a place and find them on tap. You know,
that's really funny that you say that, because I feel like that is the exact same way with pretty much everything Drew Estate. Maybe 5-6 years ago, trying to find a number 9 or a 2.
Right. Now it's everywhere and nobody wants it.
Yeah, now you can fucking buy them at convenience stores and nobody picking them up. But back in the day,
they had to hire JD back just to be like, oh yeah, he's still making the cigars. No, he's not.
His back hurts so much from those cargo shorts and those boots. He can't rep that stuff anymore. So Philadelphia, right? You got solid bar scene. You got some good what's your local cigar shop?
So the local, there's a few. There's actually a pretty decent, really nice cigar scene in Philadelphia. But we're in the epicenter of my world is Holtz. Have you heard of Holtz cigars?
Oh yeah, the HCS Maduro from Tatawahe. Always keep a box of those on deck.
That's it.
Yeah, it's so legit, dude. It's such a great place. That the general manager there, this guy named Anthony Mazzola. I don't know if you guys follow him or know him on Instagram.
Yep.
Listen, this guy is one of the nicest, and he's such a gentleman. He's knowledgeable. He's approachable. He operates the place. The staff's pretty good. So I pop in there, and in majority we go back to, I don't know if we spoke about this on the podcast, but I go into these places for the longest time. And I never told anybody I'm Emoji Stogies. You know, I don't tell many people that I'm Emoji Stogies. My friends know, but ultimately Anthony found out. He was like, "Dude, how the hell are you coming in here not telling me that you're freaking Emoji Stogies for all this time? I follow you, like you knew I followed you. You don't tell."
That is
I'm
funny.
like, dude, nobody cares about emojis. Nobody gives a shit.
That's like this. You're like the Superman, basically. Like
So I get that. At the same time, I kind of use that to back in the day when I was posting pictures, and I was doing setup after setup, and I would go to the cigar fest. I would throw in, I'm kind of J-Dub31, and be like, oh, okay, I know who you are, right? So I did that with Jeff Padron, I did that with Tony from LFD, and just to kind of get an idea. Oh yeah, you smoke my shit. Oh yeah, you know what you're doing. You're not just a fanboy. You smoke the good shit, right? So I'm guilty of that. I kind of use that. I'm the opposite of what you did, of you trying to be all whatever. And I was like, no, I want people to know. I wanted people back in the day. I wanted people to know that, that's me.
Yeah, I don't want to say I feel like I'm embarrassed. Not embarrassed. It's just like I don't think anybody cares. Like, who cares? But recently I've been going to a couple events as like have you guys ever smoked patina cigars?
One.
Nope. Do you like it?
What is it? The greenish band or the purple band?
It's like a green. It's like The band has a little bit of copper in it, like a shiny copper and a little bit of green going on in it.
Maybe I'm thinking of another.
I don't think I have.
Check him out if you haven't. But I went to an event. He came to another spot in Philly called Smoke. It's in Manayunk area, Philadelphia. And I went there as...
That's actually a really nice area.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. And the place is amazing, this place, Smoke. The owner of that place, a guy named Costas, super nice. Most of the people we come across in this industry are nice guys in general. But I went there after he said he was going, and I said, I'll be there, and met him. And so in the last few months, I've been popping out more with people knowing I'm meeting people I've met through this world, you know.
It is such a weird thing, man. Like, you went to Cigar Fest, I go to pipe shows, but you almost say your Instagram handle before you introduce your real name. Nobody knows your real name.
You'll say your name, and they're like, "Oh, cool," and it's like, "Oh, you follow me. I'm JP Fingers."
Yeah.
You're JP Fingers, and it's like, "Yeah, look at my hand. Like I'm JP Fingers." Like
nobody knows your actual as a person. They just know your Instagram. They know your social media.
Everybody thinks I have a drinking problem.
You do.
No. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have a drinking problem. Monday to Thursday, I don't touch anything.
When I went to Smoke and I met Mo, his name's Mo. He's the owner of Patina. He seems like, dude, I thought you were like an old guy. Like he's like, you're my age. You're like a young kid. Like I'm 38. I'm not a young kid, but he's like, I guess he thought I was an old guy. Another guy says, I thought you were a black guy. I can see now. My hand's in every picture, so you should know.
That is funny.
I guess not knowing my age, I guess you think a guy doing emoji reviews is an old guy.
So you're doing the whole J-Dub approach of not posting your face, but will you ever come out of the closet like I did? Wait, that didn't sound right. Will you ever your face come out and just say, hey, this is me? You see me around? Hit me up.
Myself and Evan got to see Mike tonight, and
I don't think my face needs to be on my account, but I've definitely opened up to going someplace as Emoji Stogies, not like a special guest, like he's coming, but like meeting somebody there and be like, I'm the dude.
I think you know what you should do. You got to do a contest when you hit 15,000 followers. Post a picture of you and your smoking crew together and be like, pick out who's who.
Pick out emoji. I was thinking of doing?
Like a fucking lineup or what?
Wait, I think this might actually tie in with you guys because I Googled celebrities from Niagara. You guys are from the Niagara area, right?
Yeah.
So I Googled it just because I was like,
Did I come up?
I was taking a poop and I was like, let me think of something. Maybe I could get some content. But is Dead Mouse that guy who's a DJ with the big mouse head? Is he from
Dead
that
Mouse.
area?
Yeah, he's from Niagara.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I should start going to places with a big giant emoji head.
Dude, that's how you gotta walk into a building.
Yeah, go into whole.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you built this following, you built this brand, right? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, listen, I'm a normal dude. I'm just like you guys. Like
you know what though? You could work it in a way it's like Emoji Stogies is going to this cigar shop this Saturday, dude. The people are going to go there. The cigar shop is going to be stoked because you're bringing people there.
Hold on. I just want to ask one thing. Do you have a personal account that's just like not cigar?
Yeah. It's all my kids, my wife,
okay,
me.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, but Mike, you got to own it, man. You built this empire type of thing.
It's not an empire, and I don't own it, but.
You gotta own it.
These guys are all business, Mike. They're trying to get you to sell out, man. Don't listen
Mike,
to them.
What, by showing your fucking face that's selling out? Come on.
After we're done this show, you got to hit up me and J-Dub, and we'll write up a contract for you, and we'll get you some bookings coming up.
You guys be my managers.
We'll get you set up for at least.
Hey, I can vouch. JP is a great manager.
Hey, ask me how booked up I am for fucking shows on this thing. I'm booked for like the next month and a half. 1 a week.
For the record, Evan, if you put enough zeros in front of me, I will sell out.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we've admitted that. We've admitted that. Don't sell out.
I know. I'm looking at J-Dub's face right now. Clearly, he's
He's like, oh.
I will sell out in a heartbeat with enough zeros in front of me. Shit.
There. Oh, we just lost Emoji. He's calling back right now.
Oh.
Yo. Oh, we're connecting.
This is the technical.
Yo, are you here?
I'm just saying.
Mike.
You guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. We lost you. We just picked it back up.
I dropped out. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, don't take this too seriously. But
wait.
Yeah, I mean, if you build, you're an influencer, right? You're an Instagram influencer or social media influencer, whatever, and you got to use it either to your advantage or to the advantage of your agenda, right? Whatever you want to do with it. You got the audience. That's what's important.
JP, what's your approach with like for the Rebar show? Would you accept sponsoring and stuff like that? You're pretty selective with that.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going
to blow up.
That's fucking nice.
Oh yeah,
man.
Dude, I appreciate that,
nice.
man.
Awesome.
You guys listen.
I mean, they got me to come out of the closet.
Yeah, dude.
You guys are a nice barometer of like keeping it real, not being too serious, not being too crazy. Just keeping it like legit.
We're for the people.
You're
for the people, by the people.
For the people, by the people. We're putting the social back into social media.
Hey.
And whether it's the first episode, I was a consumer, consumer. To 100, I'm supposed to be a consumer. Whether I don't care about getting free cigars, we'll buy it and do this shit till the end of time. If there's people that watch this, whether it's 10 people that watch it or it's 1,000 people that we're still gonna do it. Like
I can say I've never come on this show and not had a good time.
Yes,
it's always a good time.
Everybody that has came on the show, whether you have 500 followers or you have 52,000 followers, anywhere in between, everybody's like, dude, I want to do another episode with you. I want to do another episode with you.
Because it's real, man. It's real.
I'm not going to say no to you. Like,
For the people, by the people.
Yeah, and that's something that, we pride ourselves on, and that goes back with the, if people want us to rep their stuff on the show, it's got to be something we believe in, and it's all of us have to agree upon it equally. Evan has like a 10% share in the show. It's like 45-45 for me and J-Dub.
I just show up, man. And they use my phone to
I'm just the IT guy. That's all.
Hey, you use my
Wi-Fi. No, seriously, we are definitely going to keep it real, but this is something that the industry doesn't have, right? Everybody that gets into reviews, it's all about sucking somebody's dick at a certain point, either being pretentious about it or, I got sponsored, now I got to suck their dick, whether they're good cigars or not. No, that's not what it is, and it will never be about this. It's as long as we are for the people, by the people, and that's the way it's going to be for as long as I have a stake in this shit.
Well, you're always going to have a stake in it because you do majority of the organizing. So if you don't have a stake in it, I'm basically going to sink like a fucking ship.
Yeah, we're just two drunks talking into a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, order.
I wish you were here to tell me if the camera's on.
Yo, I was going for a while there. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, no worries. That goes back to what was it? 2 weeks ago, J-Dub, you sent me a link for this cigar podcast, and this guy had a backdrop of a cigar company, like a whole. It had to have been a fucking 10x10 spread of just the cigar label of the cigar company. He starts his show. This cigar podcast is brought to you by Drew Estate, and on today's episode, we're interviewing guys from another cigar company. It's so your backdrop is this cigar company. You're telling me you're sponsored by this other cigar company, and then you're interviewing another cigar company on top. Like, there's no fucking relativity here.
Sell out.
Yeah.
Sell out, bro.
Yeah.
Sell out. Check this out. Sell out.
But it's one of those things where it's just like
McAllen might be hitting a little bit. All right.
We could tell. We could tell. This is it's McAllen John.
John McAllen. John the Scotsman.
So I don't know, Mike, if you picked up, because we're doing, JP is posting those little teaser clips every day of, me and him doing little skits or whatever. And we did one like that with the Christoph cigars.
Yeah, with the Christoph,
Yeah, so that was kind of our riff on that stupid cigar review.
Oh,
yeah. To play devil's advocate, though, it's a win-win for everybody, because the people who just say they want to sponsor you, say this is brought to you by whatever cigar company, I don't think they expect you to talk every episode to be about them. You know what I mean? So they just want to pop in front of your podcast, and you say it to them, and then you go about normal business, and it's brought to you by them. It's not about them. So you could think of it that way, I guess.
That's a fair point.
When sponsorships pop up, because I listen to podcasts that are not cigar podcasts. In general, I don't listen to cigar podcasts. You guys were the first I listened to when I came across the Shoe Game episode.
Well,
and
thank you.
I'm not like a major consumer of information in the cigar industry, and like I'm kind of smoke what I get and smoke what I buy, and like Googling and what I see on Instagram. But to get to my point, I listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts about whatever, and they're brought to you by Squarespace. Just build a website. They ain't gonna talk about Squarespace the entire episode. Talks about whatever the podcast.
No, but I think his point. The point is that
you could be sponsored and not totally, bow down to them and
well, no, I get that, Mike. But I think what he's talking about is when let's put car companies right. So let's put this in an example. This podcast is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the greatest car ever made, and all other cars are shit. Now let's talk about how great Chevy is. Chevy, we have you on the line. Talk, Chevy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's competing interest.
Yeah,
it's almost like when you sign a non-compete at a business, right? You're not going to work for the competitor. We're doing a cigar podcast for one company, and then they got a different company behind us. It's different if it was like
don't get me wrong. If
Yeah.
Drew Estate wants to buy us a new love seat recliner, hey, you can put your logo right here.
It's all about the
every
love
time you
seat.
sit your ass on it,
You'll see it, and I'm like, hey, I'm sitting all
And
over.
I expect you to put out your ashes on that logo every time.
I would, but it'd probably tunnel, and I know it wouldn't burn properly.
No, not just. I don't want to expect you to smoke any cigar you're smoking, whether it be at the Tatuaje or whatever. Put it out in that logo. That'd be awesome.
That's funny. Yeah, it's what, everything about social media at this point is trying to get as many and podcasts and all this, everything that we're viewing through our phones and TV and everything is fucking all driven by advertisement. So as you guys grow, because you're going to grow, you're going to probably come across this shit, and it's going to be difficult. It's something you got to think about. And it's nice to be sponsored, I guess you could say.
It'll be a good problem to have at that point to choose whether we want to go that route or not. But we don't care right now. It's going to keep.
And it's one of those things. I think at the end of the day, it's like cool. But if not, it's like, whatever. Like, I think the coolest part of it is going to be being able to not accept something, but to turn it down. That's when you're just like, damn, you know what? And it's just like, oh, why'd you turn it down? It's like, well, we don't believe in it.
Hey, we just want to be the popular girl at the prom. We just want to turn everyone down.
Yeah, I mean, you give me 3 drinks, I'll go to prom with you.
Even if your name is Jonathan Drew.
Yeah, you give me a bottle of bourbon, and I'm definitely coming to prom with you. So, I mean, if you're if you're not a good cigar company and you want us to rep you on your show, don't give us your cigars. Give myself a bottle of bourbon. Give J-Dub a bottle of bourbon. And Evan will have some of mine.
Yeah, that's it.
But I have to write my own commercial, right? I'll be like, X and XYC cigar company. I've never smoked it. I'm probably never gonna smoke it, but they're sponsoring it. So
yeah,
you try it at your own risk, right? At your own peril. Try it.
Yeah,
hey, they can buy you guys some more microphones and lighting. More tech support.
I mean, J-Dub has enough lighting.
I know. Look at him.
Yeah, I need
lit up like a Christmas tree.
I'm rocking 2 microphones right now, 2 cell phones, a fucking MacBook Pro right now, and I got what do I got here? 1, 2. I got like fucking 30,000 lumens going on in here of lights.
I'm impressed.
I got 10 different flashlights just shining on me right now.
But dude, and you know what? At the end of the day, we don't have legit. It's legit, but it's not. It's legitness to us, and it works.
Yeah.
And I mean,
We do promise that it's gonna get better and better and better, and technology is gonna get better. Content, it's gonna stay the same, right? But technology is definitely gonna get better.
Well, the content is king, and the content's there. From a viewer, call me a viewer, a listener, whatever.
well, thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Yeah,
I enjoy you guys.
No, I appreciate it.
You listen to you. Like,
You gotta stop pumping 3 drunk guys' tires here. Bro.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big podcast guy. I'm very selective with my podcasts, and I would only, not to say I would listen to myself, but anybody that's ever been to the Rebar or that I've done a video herf with has been like, dude, it's like we're sitting there at the Rebar when we watch one of your shows. He's like, you don't change what you talk about. The shit's all like, nothing changes whether we're on camera or off camera. We talk about the same shit whether the camera's off. Like,
am I drunk or is there a deal license plate in your background, dude?
there is a New York City one.
That's a Drew Estate thing. You know that, right?
I'm surprised you can see that without our good lighting like you have.
Yeah.
I can see everything. I'm like, that's you're repping Drew Estate right there, man. What's up with that?
Yeah.
It's like 6 years old, back when hashtag make Drew Estate cigars good again.
Or Lucia, right? That he sold that to General as well. So
Dude, yeah.
Let's do it together, JP.
Yeah. And J-Dub. Let's do it together, J-Dub.
yeah, Mike. So we certainly do appreciate, Mike, you entertaining us, and we definitely would never get you on the show to roast you or anything whatsoever.
We're not about that.
I thought I was going to be the freshman you send to the roof of the high school for the pool, and then I'm up on the locked roof. It's like, gosh.
Hey, if you ever come to Canada, we might highlight board you.
Listen, you guys coming down to Philadelphia soon? Not that far.
It's like 5 hours for us, and dude, we could set up a little weekend golf trip on our way down to Philly.
That would be the shit.
And dude, we could be down in Philly in 5.
Golfers. You come down and drink with you and smoke with you, but I'll hit him a little bit. But I went up to the Niagara. I went to Buffalo one time.
Oh yeah. You
is that close enough
for
to you guys?
A Patriots game.
It was a weekend.
I think
before, and everybody in Philly was going to. I feel like Eagles were playing I feel like they're playing the Bears or Miami, and everybody fans travel. So everybody was going to either Chicago or It was one of those. I think it was Chicago for some reason, but we were like, let's just go. We Eagles games a couple of years before, so we were like, let's go somewhere we could drive, somewhere close, a good game. So we took a run. Buffalo played New England, and I think it was 2004. It was Tom Brady, and we get there.
The GOATs.
The first thing I noticed, you guys were MVP chanting your punter. I think you guys an MVP? Cal Moreland?
Oh, you're breaking up a bit, Mike.
You're breaking up, man.
Shit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
In and out.
Can you hear me now?
And look at that. My bottle, my 18. Oh yeah, you're matching that with the
I gotta go shot for shot. Don't leave a bottle standing.
I'm not. I'm gonna finish this before the night is over. So for sure.
Yo, Mike, you there?
Am I back in? Are you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh yeah, yes. I went up to Buffalo. And my first experience with Buffalo as football fans, you guys were at the punter.
Oh,
yeah, you're cutting
we just
out
lost
again.
you again.
What the fuck?
We heard that. So
what the fuck? Now we gotta edit this.
We just gotta make a second show, guys. That's all. We just gotta make a second show.
You know what, Mike? We're gonna wrap it up right now. Any cigar shops? Anybody you want to give a shout out to that you support?
Happy birthday to your mom or anything?
Yeah,
like
let's
that.
hear it.
Can you guys hear me first and foremost?
Mhm.
Yeah. You're good now.
Am I
Look,
back?
Ma, I made it.
I got nothing to plug, guys. I'm just
Hey,
man with some
You sure you
cigars.
don't want to plug
But
Placencia?
you know what? I gotta say it.
Tina, not Placencia.
Whatever. Platina.
Fuck
Check them out though. Pretty good.
Fuck Cigar Aficionado. Follow the more respectable account and follow Emoji Stogies.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys having me.
That's a real cigar review coming from a non-cigar related cigar podcast.
That's
you gotta have a cigar emoji.
So here's the shout out to Cigar Emojis. Cheers, guys. See if you can see this.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
To
Cheers,
Cigar Emoji. To Emojis.
I'm
Mike.
drinking the last time I mentioned.
dude. Thank
Great
you.
content, non-pretentious, great,
guys are fun.
down-to-earth guy. Definitely check him out.
Dude,
Definitely,
yeah, I mean,
someone you want to sit down and have a cigar with. Non-pretentious. You don't have to dress up to go see him.
dude, you're a real dude, man. You're straight up.
Real people, real show for real people. By real people.
I honestly appreciate hanging out with you guys. It was fun. Cheers.
And yeah, dude, cheers, and thank you for your time, man, and thank you for answering all the questions. And just, you know what, a lot of this is, it's being able to put a voice behind what people see. People are like, I don't know.
We got a face. We got a face.
Like,
Now, every time I see a post, I'm gonna hear that Pennsylvania accent.
yeah, dude. No, Mike.
Good stuff, guys.
Mike
Good
has
stuff.
got that Philly accent.
Yeah, immediately recognized that, and I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until the
I
next
wanted to get
time,
the mic-
Mike.
You got it, guys. Talk to you later.
Awesome, man. We'll talk to you soon, Mike. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
J-Dub, what do I do? Stop broadcasting?
Yep.
And heavy